The prospect of making it through high school and finally facing graduation can be exhilarating and exciting. But it is also highly stressful if you don't have any particular vision of where the heck you see yourself after leaving the comforts of Notre Dame. The 4 years of high school really do fly by, and perhaps you are simply not ready to move on into the crazy world we live in. Maybe you need more time to figure things out and feel that the academic setting is the optimal place for you to do so. This was the case for me when I graduated and decided to take a 5th year. There are a lot of problems with being a teenager and making decisions about what you want to do with your future. As a child, all decisions are made for you. As an adolescent, you are supposed to be given more freedom, but still some limitations. But when it comes to the end of high school and you are given the first real decision of your life that actually matters, it's the biggest decision of your life. It determines how much money you are going to make, whether or not you're going to be happy or sad when you go to work, and whether or not you are going to have a good life. Everyone who has been through it knows that it isn't that big, because your decision can change. But when you are looking at it before you make the decision, it feels like life and death. With the school year in full swing, many students are beginning to feel stress from all the pressures being put on them about their future. They are being pulled in many different directions to think about what they want to do after high school. And this can be, for many students, a very loaded question. Planning your life is probably the scariest part about growing up. No matter what grade you are in, everyone asks, what do you want to do when you are older? And these are basically all the options you have to consider. Option A, do what your parents want you to do. Go to university and become a doctor, a lawyer, or something that takes way too much school for anyone's liking and be unhappy for the rest of your life. Option B, become a teacher or an engineer, an astronaut, or become a psychologist, or go into some other field that everyone else is going into, said by all family members. Option C, go to university or college in some really open program like humanities so that you get the experience and you're not really making a commitment in any specific field, but you will end with a degree. Option D, take a year off, make some money, possibly travel. But you know you need money to travel, so maybe take a few years off so you can travel until you have some idea of what you actually want to do. Option E, take a 5th year, get a few credits, don't get too stressed out, and be in a comfortable place where you have a support system if you need some help to make those big decisions. This gives you more time to learn about who you are and what you want to do with your life. While taking a 5th year can be very daunting, it is becoming fairly common. The decision to enroll in a 5th year is very important and requires many considerations, especially for those considering a 5th year who may not necessarily need it. I primarily hope to speak to those students facing a situation similar to mine a year ago, being fully credited and prepared to graduate, but not 100% sure if they should actually do so. The question is, would enrolling in a 5th year be right for you? I have briefly outlined some of the benefits and issues I have recognized in my experience and hope this helps you answer your questions. Benefits: remaining within the system and the Notre Dame community. There is definitely a benefit to staying within an institution that you are comfortable in as you figure out what to do with yourself. Our school offers you a great deal of assistance in making those all-important life choices. And also, you get to stick with all the old Notre Dame traditions, the Neil Run, Spirit Week, Christmas baskets, and you also get to be a part of new ones like the Girls Dame Run, hashtagging Ubi Honor IB Sum, and ND Catch a Spirit for an extra year with pictures of new friends. Knowledge and the opportunity to try new things. Why not take an extra year to take that course that you always wanted to take but never could because it didn't fit into your timetable? Or try something new that you have never done before. Or maybe even join that club that you always wanted to join but didn't because your friends wouldn't join it with you. Taking a 5th year opens these doors for you. You also get the opportunity to increase your marks. The more classes you take, the more grades you receive. And the more you have to choose from when you are picking your top 6 courses to give to universities or colleges when applying. It also gives you a chance to retake a course you didn't do as well in as you had hoped. Taking a 5th year is also really good because you are literally saving yourself so much money. Instead of going to college or university and just getting into a program for no reason, you are actually figuring out what you want to do with your life before you spend your money on getting into a specific program. Plus, it actually gives you an extra year to save money for school. But with all good things, there are bad things, and so here are some of the issues with taking a 5th year. The risk of lowering marks. You may decide to take an extra year to improve your marks. But when you get into the class, you slack off in these classes because you already have the credit and you don't need the credit for anything really. But if your mark does end up dropping, it will be reflected on applications later. Staying back as your year moves on is really hard. Those friendly and recognizable faces you have remembered seeing in classes around school over the past 4 years will no longer be there, as they have all moved on with their lives. There is something to be said for being in a familiar place surrounded by your sisters. Also, be prepared to be asked by everyone, and seriously, I do mean everyone. Did you actually graduate last year? And why did you come back? Did you fail? It could end up driving you crazy, but eventually you will just get used to it, or you will finally have answered everyone's questions. I hope that by laying out some of these considerations, I have helped you come to your own determination of if it is in your own best interest to take a 5th year or not. Either way, ladies, you are going to learn from whatever you choose, so you can't really make a wrong choice. You are basically on a one-way trip to who knows where, and you can get off at any stop. You just have to decide where. No one has a clue about what is going to happen, so make the decision for you, not for anyone else.